Welcome back to Empowering the Educator Within. I'm your host, Christina Shalla, and today we're talking about your support staff survival guide, practical strategies to help you move from reactive to ready in your daily work. And it all begins with a question you've probably asked yourself more than once. Where is the curriculum? It's not just a philosophical question, it's a logistical one. Because if you're expected to help students access the curriculum, but you're not given it to work from, how exactly are you supposed to do that? Too often, you're walking into classrooms mid-lesson with no context, or you're handed a worksheet during a pull-out time and expected to just help. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if you could shift from always catching up to actually being prepared? In this episode, I'm walking you through 5 small but powerful actions to help you walk into the classroom with purpose, not confusion. The first tool in your toolkit is knowing where to find the curriculum. If no one's given you a copy, it's time to go looking. Ask for yearly planners, unit overviews, or even a rough scope and sequence. You don't need all the details up front, but having a general sense of what's coming makes it possible to plan proactively. When you know what's ahead, you can pull vocabulary lists, prep graphic organizers, and even create simplified texts or sentence starters before they're needed. It moves support from being reactive to responsive, and that's a much better place to work from. And once you know the roadmap, the next step is to look at the resources that will actually take students along that path. The next strategy in this guide is getting familiar with the resources that bring the curriculum to life. Knowing the curriculum is one thing, but seeing the actual materials is another. Most teachers, unless they're brand new to a grade or a subject, reuse some or all of their teaching materials from year to year. That's good news for you because it means those slides, worksheets, and links probably already exist. Ask for them in advance. When you can preview what's coming, you can adapt the tasks, simplify the language, or pre-teach key vocabulary before students even see the assignment. This changes your role from reacting on the spot to guiding with intention. And as you review those materials, you'll start to notice patterns, especially in how student work is being evaluated. That naturally leads to the next step. Another key approach is understanding exactly how success will be measured. Rubrics are more than a grading tool. They're a window into expectations. They tell you exactly what success looks like for a particular task. Request copies of the rubrics teachers plan to use, ideally before the unit or project begins. If possible, adapt them to reflect the needs of your learners. For example, if you use CIFR or WIDA as a framework for tracking language progress, integrate those objectives into a modified rubric. That way, you're supporting both the academic content and the language growth of your ELL students. Once you have that clarity on goals, the challenge becomes keeping everyone aligned and updated. And that's where a shared planning process can make all the difference. The fourth way to strengthen your practice is building a planning process that keeps everyone on the same page. In a perfect world, there would be time built into every week for planning between support staff and teachers. But if we're being honest, that's rarely the case. So instead of waiting for time to magically appear, create a low-effort system that works in the background. A shared Google Doc or a Teams file can go a long way. Ask teachers to drop in a few bullet points about what's coming up each week, especially any assessments or lessons that might need support. And if you're looking for something more structured, this is exactly why we built ESB planners. As the developers of this collaborative planning software, we designed it specifically to support communication between teachers and support staff. With shared planning spaces, customizable supports, and clear tracking, ESB Planners helps teams stay aligned without having to squeeze in extra meetings or rely on last-minute updates. Having these systems in place gives you consistency, but the reality is there will still be times when you can't be in the room, which is where the final strategy comes in. Our final strategy ensures your support is felt even when you're not in the room. Support staff often move between classrooms throughout the day. That means there will be times you're not there when a student needs help. Ask teachers if you can create a small space in the classroom, a basket, a shelf, or even a labeled folder, where you can leave behind scaffolded materials or adapted resources for students to access independently. This way, your presence is felt even when you're not there, and students have tools they can rely on whenever they need them. These 5 strategies form the core of your support staff survival guide. Practical steps that move you from reacting in the moment to being fully ready for the challenges of the day. When you have access to the curriculum, the right resources, and clear systems for collaboration, you can step into any classroom with confidence and purpose. You'll find ready-to-use templates in the Empowering the Educator Within book and the companion workbook. Both include customizable support staff planners you can put into action right away. For related topics, episodes 5 and 6 cover practical strategies for reporting on student progress clearly and collaboratively, offering insights that complement the approaches we've discussed today. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and keep empowering the educator within.